But I don't know about, this conspiracy theory crap that's going around. I mean, I don't know. I'll just keep my mouth shut on it. But
yeah, I'll say this much: I think there have been shenanigans from both sides.
yeah, but I don't think that you can have. I find it unlikely that you have fraud in 5 states. I just don't see that happening.
Right.
I mean, within a couple thousand votes, maybe, like dead people and shit like that and stuff like that. But I don't know.
But in some places, that's the margin. Like you look at Georgia.
But not in Pennsylvania.
Right. I know.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I get it. I get what you're saying, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just don't think the transition is going to be good. You know what I mean?
That I don't know, because it's like the thing I've heard floated. I've heard people like, and not just like one person, like multiple people talk about like, there's the biggest conspiracy theory that I've heard is, so Biden gets elected, Trump steps down.
Yeah. And
within the next 2 years, Biden will be found to be unfit for the office. He will be, the Congress will invoke the 25th Amendment to have him removed. Then Harris becomes the president, and she names Hillary vice president. Then on top of that, I heard these same people then say, and that plays right into Trump running and winning in 2024. Now, my problem with that, first off, the whole thing sounds batshit crazy to me. But more importantly, the thing that I want to say to these people who are like, well, it's Trump 2024. The man's going to be 78 years old in 2024. When on election day, he'll be 78 years old. Right. You mean to tell me you can't find a single Republican under the age of 70 that you could put up against Biden Harris? Like,
right.
Like you're telling me like the future of the Republican Party rests on the shoulders of Donald Trump at the age of 78.
Right. I know.
And it's like, meanwhile, one of your biggest complaints was how old Biden is. Biden's 78 right now.
Right. I know.
What's to say Don doesn't suffer from dementia or, the way he pounds down his quarter pounders, I wouldn't trust that ticker to save my life.
Right.
You're telling me you can't find a single solitary Republican under the age of 70 that you could run in 2024.
I know.
If it was me, if I'm a Republican strategist right now, I'm combing the countryside trying to find somebody from Generation X.
Exactly.
Some 40-something that you could put up against Biden and say, look at this young, virile, ready to lead, you know what I mean? Like that would be my strategy.
Right.
No, we're gonna go old white.
Right.
Wow. Okay.
I don't. I don't know. I've been watching the numbers too since, and it's hard to find numbers since the announcement. But I want to see what I've been interested to see what the numbers were since, with the big vote totals and stuff like that. I want to see what the spread is. Like Georgia, you can contest because that's within a couple thousand votes.
Right.
But there's others that are like 40,000 ahead, 30,000 ahead. You know what I mean? Like right. I don't see where you're gonna. I think one of the main problems I have had with everything was, Trump said go out and vote. And people don't. I don't understand why this is like escaping people's craniums. Trump said get out there, go to the polls and vote, and that's what the Republicans did.
Right.
Right. The Democrats were laid back and they said we're going to send our votes in. So this is where I have a hard time, like, with the Republican point of view. They're like, oh, they're just making up votes at the end. No, that's when they're counting the mail-in ballots.
Right.
So you're going to see leads decrease if if a majority of I'm pretty sure a majority of the Democrats mail in their ballots, or a whole hell of a lot of them. I mean, I didn't. I went down to the polls and voted, but what I'm saying is, you start seeing these huge leads disappear. Well, that's because the mail-in ballot votes coming in. Like, I don't quite understand where the cheating thing comes in. That's impossible. Da, da, da. No, it's not, because the majority of the votes that are coming in are Democratic mail-in ballots.
Right. I mean,
you're going to see this. You're going to see a shift, right?
Right.
And so, but the counting, the states that counted their mail-in ballots along with everything else first, you see more of an even race, or you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
They didn't just facsimile votes out of nowhere. I mean, like, these are voters that this is their vote. It's coming in. You know what I mean? It's a mail-in ballot.
Right.
And Republicans only went after the states that he was losing in. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, I get that, but like, if you're going to call fraud, you got to call fraud on the whole system. You just can't say, hey,
I agree. Like,
you're fucking up here and here and here and here. 4 or 5 states here are committing fraud, and then at the same point, the Republicans are doing very well everywhere else. I mean, very, very well. As far as Senate and House and stuff like that. So it's like, if you're going to cheat,
Well, the biggest argument I heard somebody make about the voter fraud was, if there really was voter fraud, Mitch McConnell would have lost.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even I hate Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, I know.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I know.
Mitch McConnell's the worst human being ever, in my opinion.
Right.
But
it just kills me. Then you have some people going, "Oh, this is socialist run. It's going to be socialism," and da 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 da. I was like, he's a leftist center Democrat. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
He's never been part of that extreme wing. I don't know. But you know what's funny, and it's also disappointing, is how many people actually, I know, I'm trying not to get too political, but how many people actually did vote for dude, for Trump? It just lets you know where the division is in America. And that's kind of saddening, actually. But
well, okay, like I look at it this way. I know you look at it from a completely different perspective than I do. Okay.
Right.
But I look at it this way. Lots of people, like, there is a far right and there's a far left.
Right.
Okay. And yes, the far right listen to what Trump says and take it as a referendum to their
Bible.
Right. But then there's the actual right and the actual left. And the actual right, many times they are 1 or 2 subject voters.
Yeah.
Okay. They are going to vote for a Republican because they're anti-abortion.
Right.
That's their single issue vote. As long as he comes out and he says he's anti-abortion,
right,
they're going to vote for that Republican no matter what else is taking place.
Right.
So it's stuff like that I feel like there's the far right that, yes, has come out in droves because they feel empowered. But there's also the far left, which aren't happy either because they're like, well, Biden's not left enough.
Right.
Like what AOC or whatever her name is. Like she just came out today and was just like, yeah, we didn't pick up seats in the House because we didn't go left enough. Like, but that's not where the country is.
Right.
Don't you understand that?
Like, yeah, it's weird.
It is like the people on the problem is the people on the far right and the people on the far left are the ones with the biggest microphones. It's right. The people like in the center and the actual right and the actual left that are like, right. Shut the fuck up. We're trying to get shit done.
I know. And that's the thing too. It's just like, I just don't, I don't know, man.
Why would West
people are in the middle?
Yeah. Like West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, places like that, they're going to vote Republican because they're pro coal mining or pro fracking.
Right.
You know, and let's face facts, the United States is the Saudi Arabia of coal.
Right. It is.
You know, so the last thing they want to see us do is go with a green plan.
Right.
To get rid of coal.
Right.
Because those places don't know what the fuck to do without it.
Right.
They're not anywhere near prepared to be re-educated to do something else.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, so they're going to, yeah, I mean, I see all this stuff like on Facebook and stuff, which is like become a fascinating social experiment where it's like, well, if you voted for Trump, you can't be my friend. And, you know, you've clearly voted against human rights and everything. No, they're voting their own interests. Right. Their own interest many times is, well, my job is coal or my job is oil drilling. And your candidate wants to get rid of what I do for a living. Right. So guess what? Yeah. I'll take everything else because my job's going to be protected.
Yeah, but where do you think big business took steel, and where do you think big business took all this stuff?
Well, yeah, I mean,
if you want to look back at the clock a little bit, you know what I mean?
If you go back 40 years to the Reagan era and stuff, yeah, Reagan fucked us all over, and you know, fucked over the unions and sent steel to China and all this other stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can talk about, but I mean, like right now, like the places where people are like, well, they're voting against their own interests. Well, no, they're not. They're voting for their job.
Yeah, I hear.
You know
that.
what I mean? That's the thing. Like Pennsylvania, the fact that Pennsylvania went red last election was shocking to me. Only because if you look at a map of like this is what I tried to explain to Nancy and her sister because they were shocked that Pennsylvania went blue this time.
Right.
And it's like, well, because like you know. Her sister drives out to Tionesta, and all you see are Trump signs.
Well, sure, that's
right.
Trump country.
Right. But I'm like, if you think about it, on game day, in a non-pandemic year, Penn State becomes the third largest city in Pennsylvania on game day.
Yep.
Because of the size of the stadium.
Right.
There are more people in Allegheny County and in Philadelphia County than there are in the rest of the state.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all you need to do is have it takes a tremendous amount of people showing up in the rest of Pennsylvania to offset Allegheny and Philadelphia.
Right.
You know, so yeah, you could talk about all the Trump signs you saw in the rest of the state. The fact of the matter is, Allegheny County and Philadelphia are never going to be red. Ever. Right. And it's the rest of the state against those two counties.
Right.
You know.
And those two counties had a shit ton of mail-in ballots.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, like it's shit like that like. You know, I don't know. We're going down